The next topic in managing Summer Reader as an administrator is understanding program setup. And the topics that we'll be talking about are understanding drop lists, understanding logging types, understanding registration defaults, and understanding set program order. Starting from the System Maintenance page, let's come over to Program Setup and select Drop-Down List. Once I'm in the Drop-Down List modification page, you will see a box called List Name. There are a series of fields that we've already classified that already have text in a list format, such as city, country, and grade. This list can grow by adding custom fields within the registration or the logging pages that are required for lists, such as adding a field may be called title, and you have a list of titles that you would allow your patrons to choose from. Once you add that field into the logging section, then the list would be created here, or you can even create it as you're creating the field. And you'll talk more about that in steps 3 and 4 of adding a brand new program later in the session. Let's take a look at how to modify a couple of these. The first one that I'm going to choose is called City. Once I'm within City, as you can see, I already have items in my list: Acton, Avon, Brownsburg, Indianapolis, Plainfield, and Southport. Those are all cities within my area. The order weight is just regulating in what order they will be displayed within the list. And as you can see, it's done by the tens: 20, 40, 50, 10, 30, and 60. The next column is the Delete column. If I wanted to remove one of these items, I would just put a check mark in that box next to the city and select Delete. The last column is the Edit column, the pencil and paper icon. By selecting the icon, I will be taken into the Modify Items screen, where I can modify maybe the city or the order weight. To add a brand new city to my group, I would simply type in the city name. Select my order weight. Order weight is done by tens, as you can see. But if I wanted to put Fairland in between Brownsburg and Southport, I would choose a number in between the 50 and the 60, such as 55. By putting 55 in the order weight and selecting Save, will now fall between Brownsburg and Southport, as you see here. It also changed the order weight for those 3 cities. Now Brownsburg is 50, Fairland is 60, and Southport is 70. Now that we have a better understanding of how to change our list, let's go take a look at a couple of others just as an example. Going back to System Maintenance, selecting Drop-Down List, I can now create a list for my school districts. By selecting school districts, as you can see, there are no items found. So now I can create my school districts that are within my area. Just by putting in the name for the school district and then updating my order weight as needed. As you can see, I've added Franklin Township and Northwestern Consolidated. One of the drop-downs that you see here, they are structured the same. So once you go into one of them, you will see that you will be able to add a new item, or you could edit and delete each item. Starting from System Maintenance, going under Program Setup, let's talk about logging types. By selecting logging types, you will see we're brought to the Program Logging Types List Maintenance. And within this section, we have a list of types that we provide you as a default. You do not have to use our logging type defaults. You can remove any one of our logging types. By putting a check mark next to the item you want to remove in the Delete column and selecting Delete will remove the item from your list. You can modify any of the verbiage in our list, easy as either hitting the word change next to the logging type and making your modification in the open text, or you can select the paper and pencil and modify it in the open text here, and then select Save. You can easily add additional logging types just by typing in logging type, just by typing in the text for logging type. Select Save, and it will add it to the logging type list. You want to make sure that you're modifying all of your languages as well. So for example, by selecting the drop-down language and selecting Spanish, you will see that I have not defined a lot of my logging types in Spanish, but I can modify that by coming in and putting in the Spanish version of that logging type. Once you're done making modifications to each one of the languages, you would simply select Save. Logging types are easy to modify, and you're also able to do that You're also able to modify during the process of adding a brand new program in step number 1, and we'll get to that later on in this session. Starting back on system maintenance and selecting registration defaults, we are able to select the defaults for when a person is registering, such as defaulting their city. If 90% of your registrants will be populated within the city of Indianapolis, then it would only make sense to default that information. The same with state, and then you could do the same with country. So United States. The postal code, you can update that information. Area code, school district, school name, primary library, and library card prefix, such as like 123. If every card starts with a certain prefix. Once you're done making modifications to the registration default, you would just simply select Save. Lastly, under Program Setup is Set Program Order. By selecting Program Order, I am able to manage how my programs will be ordered on the patron or even the program homepage. As you can see now, the public homepage would display my Adult 2010 in the first position, and then Paws and Claws and Scales, and so on and so forth. If I wanted to make modifications to this list, I would choose the up or down arrow next to the program that I would like to change. So if I wanted to move Scare Up a Good Book Pre-Reader, Adult 2010, I would just choose the up arrow. You can also make these modifications for the staff side as to how you would like your programs to appear, doing the same process by using your up and down arrows.